Hey guys, welcome to the channel. How is it going? So today in this video we are going to talk about the web novel chapter 218, and let me tell you that this story is connected to our previous videos. Make sure you watch it. Link is in the description. Now without wasting time, let's begin the video. Dagruel was aware that his blood was boiling with excitement. Now was the time where he'd have a showdown with Feldera, who was his long-time fated opponent. Therefore, fuhahahaha. As I expected from you, Feldera. But, I released my true power, I'd be different from before. So Dagruel shouted, becoming an Ashira, his blind spot has disappeared. Just like before, magic didn't affect him. And with hardening power, his body easily surpassed the hardness of diamond, any kind of attacks would be repelled. Invincibility. That was Dagruel's current state. Quahahahaha. Laughable. Feldera laughed down Dagruel's shout. And then, he threw thunderstorm, lightning storm roar, as it was. The compressed mass of atmosphere draws near Dagruel while releasing electrical discharge. However, that superdensity attack was grabbed by Dagruel with one hand and disappeared. It's useless, Feldera. Didn't I say that such superficial techniques like this would not affect me? Feldera didn't heed him. Faster than his main body, which shot the thunderstorm, Feldera's clone went behind Dagruel's back. The real thing is this. Taste this, Dragon Claw. Feldera's fist, which was thrown at super high speed, was small, unlike the dragon's large body. However, the ominous claws that grew on his 6 fingers possessed sundering power which could tear apart any kind of material in this world. Dagruel's hardening power and Feldera's sundering power collided, resulting in sounds as if the world was creaking. Crash, and so, both have their arm disappeared. One of Dagruel's arms which defended against Feldera's claws disappeared. Feldera's left hand which accomplished the feat has also disappeared. It was a draw. Dagruel still have 5 arms which still intact. Also, the lost arm regenerate in a moment. The one he was fighting against, Feldera also can produce clones as many as he liked with parallel existence. TCH. As ever, what an absurd strong fellow he's. The absurd one is you, Feldera. For the current me to be wounded, Feldera felt irritated as Dagruel was able to defend from his special attack. Likewise, Dagruel also felt annoyed as his invincible body was damaged. Still, both of them were warming up. Since it was not possible to expect the opponent to be careless, it was necessary to make the chance somehow. Destruction Deva and Storm Dragon, both were equal. It would be sheer stupidity to bring out everything in the beginning of fight. However, Feldera completely disregarded such theory. He began attacking Dagruel at once. Quahahahaha. I'll keep going. Wingblade. Several of Feldera's clones approached Dagruel in a super high-speed flight. The wings generated vibration and turned it into a high-frequency blade. The vibrations of the 2 pairs of big and small wings created a death end barrier which could tear molecular bond. Feldera's large build was covered with death end barrier and became a huge destruction sphere. Such fiendish destruction sphere was a thing that can only be created by several clones of Feldera. Everyone attacked Dagruel at the same time. Bua. However, Dagruel didn't panic. Grassword's face turned to the front, preparing great swords on both of his hands. And then, he moved to intercept it while at the same time several of Feldera clones approaching. By each one of Dagruel's sword flash, the destruction sphere that Feldera's clones had created was negated. In other words, that means the clones were destroyed. Dagruel didn't slacken his attacks. He continued, exploding chains of the sealed destroyer prison. With Fen's face facing the front, he tried to capture Feldera using Gleipnir in his hand. No matter how many Feldera created his clones, it would be useless in front of his eyes of truth, or should it have been? Unfortunately. That just my clone. Feldera shouted, like making fool of him. Since it was so quick and overdone. Oh. You. To be able to deceive my eyes. What kind of trick did you use? Phew phew phew. Oh Dagruel, even when you unleash your true power, you can't defeat me. As there's no chance for you to win. Besides, even I have grown stronger. I'd be bothered if you think I'm still the same as the old me. Feldera dodged Dagruel's question. Properly speaking, eyes of truth can't be deceived. However, with his existence probability fluctuation, it was possible for Feldera to shift himself with his clones momentary. It was possible by manipulating parallel existence and probability manipulation at the same time, one of his secret technique. In addition of those two, it also utilized space manipulation, or so Rimuru, seal, had explained it to him about the ability, but Feldera ignored it. Even if he didn't completely understand the fine details, there was no problem because he mastered how to use it instinctively, so Feldera thought. For such reason, it was true that he can't give an explanation about it. On the contrary, in case he understood it, he would be boastfully explaining about it. It could be said that it was good that Feldera didn't really comprehend it. What, no chance to win, you said? What a nonsense you talked about. But it seems to be true that you're different from the old time. Okay then. If I can't see where your main body are, then I shall erase all of your clones at the same time. While talking, he created a convenient situation for himself. It also one of fighting techniques. Even a strong person of Dagruel's caliber wouldn't ignore such petty tricks. He calmly activated Space Grasp and the range of his interference wave expanded. After he confirmed that it wasn't Feldera's clone and he wasn't hiding using Eyes of Truth, he cut out the dimension, creating an isolated space. In this space, there were only Dagruel and Feldera. Also, all of Feldera's clones, in order to eliminate them together at the same time. Mew. I got you, Feldera. Eat this. Quasar break. A great earthquake shook this cut-out space. The inside of the space was filled with super-dimensional vibration with Dagruel as its epicenter. Irreversible, interfering destructive waves were generated and emitting invisible lights. Dagruel converted his own body into a pseudo-black hole, absorbing and destroying all matters inside the space. At that time, because of the generated friction which exceeding the isolation space, dazzling light begun to overflow. No matter what kind of life form, if they receive the interference of this overwhelmingly high energy concentration, it might be impossible for them to preserve their own existence. Not just disintegrated, they would be swallowed into the black hole and disappear. Dagruel had the conviction on his special attack, and checked the result. The completely isolated space that Dagruel created closed together when he absorbed the radiated light rays. There should be no one who able to survive that attack. Phew. Tha, that just now is very dangerous, you know. Dagruel was astonished with his eyes wide opened. Impossible. You able to survive that? Dagruel shouted due to the rest of the shock. It was his strongest attack that should eliminate anyone completely. In the isolated space, there was no escape. Yet, for Feldera to survive after receiving the direct hit should be impossible. But, it's a fact that Feldera survived. Kuha. Quahahaha. So, something like this isn't a big deal for me. Making good use of ultimate skill Chaotic Lord Nyarlathotep, Feldera thinned his existence probability to the utmost limit, and was barely able to evade the interference wave of the destructive energy. However, several of the clones failed in evasion, they were all annihilated. It's a terrifying technique, and if Feldera was even a bit late, Feldera would be definitely destroyed. Feldera integrated all of his remaining clones and checked the current situation. His remaining energy currently was at 50%, he included the amount that was lost to Xian. I consumed a lot. However, it's all according to the calculation. Dagruel and Feldera were almost even. Feldera had about 30% of his energy taken by Xian before the fight began. Therefore, to overturn the disadvantageous situation, it was necessary to make Dagruel wasted his. However, it was good because he succeeded in the gamble. The probability of his survival was very small against the attack. Feldera gambled that he could evade it with ultimate skill Chaotic Lord Nyarlathotep. Feldera had won the gamble. In the first place, even if he lose the gamble, he act with the prediction that there was no doubt that he could be regenerated by Rimuru. If I know that it's possible for me to regenerate, I'm not going to be scared of any dangerous battle. Quahahaha. Feldera laughed loudly with his true feelings that can't be let out. This was exactly the reason why Feldera said Dagruel had no chance to win against him. Do you know? If you make one mistake, you could be annihilated and won't be able to regenerate it? Why you need to wager your life for Ruminas and humans? Humph. That aside, Dagruel. Why do you need to obey Velda's order? That person is not my older brother. That may be so. But, his aura, was without doubt, Feldin Avisamus. That's enough. I lived to serve that person. Laughable. For you to work hard for an impostor, you're not worthy of the reputation of destruction god. Shut up, Feldera. I won't forgive you if you mocked that person even if you're his younger brother. Dagruel boosted his fighting aura. Then, he turned small from his about 15-meter large body in a flash. Dagruel became around 3 meters in size. However, lightning flashed from his body, super compressed energy could be felt. Mew. Fuhahahaha. It was you who taught me, Feldera. When you control your anger, further power can be gained, or so Feldera recalled those words. Come to think of it, he had talked with Dagruel about the knowledge of the holy book, manga. Just from that bit of information, Dagruel had splendidly sublimated it to actual combat level. As expected from Dagruel. However, I will not be defeated. Feldera also compressed his energy and transformed into human form, as a response to Dagruel. The unordinary melee fight begun. Dagruel's fist sunk into Feldera's abdomen. At the same time, Feldera's elbow hit Dagruel's face. Their fight lasts several hours, neither of them yielding to the other. Instead of fighting firmly on the ground, the places of their battle were changing one after another. From the sky to the ground. And blowing off the surroundings, to the desert. And again to the sky high. Sometimes outside the atmosphere. For both of them who are masses of energy, the battlefield was same whether they go. I thought that I was a master, but it seems I still have a long way to go. I'll say it once again, Dagruel. Stop obeying that impostor. You are so stubborn, Feldera. My loyalty won't change even if he died. Is that so? I'm so disappointed, Dagruel. I shall end you with my strongest secret technique. Dagruel tensed to Feldera's words. However, it was already too late. Feldera had already completed his preparation. Feldera activated his ability. That moment, the surroundings are covered with prismatic darkness, engulfing a vast area that even covered the region of the Death Desert of Holy Kingdom Ruberio's territory. Fertile paradox. Feldera muttered in small voice. Inside the prismatic darkness, a cruel miracle manifested. So guys, this was all for today's video. Thanks for watching.